He's saying, look, I call upon you. So this is a mandate from their teacher, Shaul. I call upon you, brothers, watch out. Watch out for those who are causing division. In other words, you need to be aware that this is happening, and if it's not happening, it certainly could be at any moment happening, because it will happen. It happens on a regular basis. He says, watch out for two groups of people, one that causes, or individuals, and it may not be groups, look for individuals that are causing division. So what kind of ways is division caused? Well, if you have just two sort of main ways. One is if you have an issue with the leadership. If you have an issue with the leadership personally, and you try to rally others to see that leadership the way you do, that will cause division inside of the group. Turn away from people teaching different than the teacher. I'm not saying that's me. For you, it might be. You need to figure that out. We talked about that many times. But if I'm an Ephesians 4 guy, and you have figured that out, then you cannot entertain things contrary to what I've taught you. That's not being cultish. That's between you and him and what you understand my role to be. That Paul tells you there are men who are teachers that are in this category. And he says you should not be, because it will cause division and it will cause stumbling, those that are teaching contrary to what you have learned. Learned from who? Paul and the anointed appointed teachers. He says turn away from them. It blows my mind. And again, I have to keep saying, it's not a cultish thing. It's a scriptural thing. It blows my mind to watch you people run up to people you know are causing issues, because you've been in conversations where you've heard about that, and run over and coddle and grab a hold of and love on all these people that you know are problematic. When it says here, turn away from them. Let them feel a little bit of that outcast to wake them up a little bit. We don't want them to be outcast. We want them to knock it off and stop causing division and stumbling. But you know what? You guys have a insecurity problem, a self-image problem, and you want everybody to love you. And so you treat everybody in a way that will help make sure that everybody loves you. And yet, it's telling you here, turn away from them. Now, this is where it comes into the evil thing. I wish you to be wise. Wise meaning experienced and grounded and filled with understanding as to those things that are good. Indeed, as to the good. He says, but I want you to be simple. In other words, someone who really doesn't have experience and understanding and is not well versed in that which is evil. Now, he just used that comparison of good and evil in the context of the way we treat our leadership and the congregation and assemblies we're in, and whether or not we're causing division or bringing unity. We're causing stumbling or we're encouraging people to stay the path. He called one good and the other evil. Evil company corrupts good habits. You hang out with those that are doing things that could cause division and cause stumbling and cause harm, ruin, destruction, suffering. This will and can, or can and will, what's it say here? Corrupt good habits. That's when you start doing things slightly off. Your habits of doing things right become slightly altered. Corrupted, right? What is corrupted? It means that it was good, it was fine, and then something has now damaged it, ruined it, is off about it. It doesn't work like it did before. I don't agree with some of the things you say. So what? You shouldn't be discipling if that mattered. When Yahweh gave the covenantal instruction, when he made the offer in Exodus 19, he didn't explain everything. He didn't even tell them what it was he expected of them except to obey. And they trusted him enough to agree. They didn't know even what they were signing up for. They just said, we know who you are. We saw what you did to Egypt. We saw how you brought us over here to Sinai. All the miracles. Whatever you say has got to be good. We're going to trust you. Of course, they didn't. But at least they had that mindset initially, right? And that's really what happens with some of you. You get excited, you come here, you're ready to submit, you're ready for all of this, and then something's gonna come up that you don't like that I said or did, or that you don't agree with, and now you're gonna run for the hills and say nasty things about me. Well, it's foolishness. Some of you still listen to Sunday teachers because you still like them. That's ridiculous. That's insane. You know better. Oh, but. No, but. I'm not saying a Sunday teacher can't teach something of value, but why would you listen to people in the wrong camp? Because people will come to me, especially about prophetic things. Oh, but no. I do not listen to Sunday teachers. Period. I don't care how good you think they are. I don't care what insight you think they have. My first question is, are they Torah observant? Are they covenanted? No, I don't have any ear for them. Okay? No. I'm not going to give myself a chance to fall into any level of confusion. Now, unless you are an Ephesians 4 teacher, you should have nothing to say about what I do. If you're not an anointed appointed, how are you to know that I'm wrong? I don't understand how you would think that. I've said this before and gotten a lot of people mad at me, and that's too bad. Don't be offended by these words, but they're serious words. When you think the teacher is wrong, what thinks you're qualified to think that? What are your qualifications to say the teacher is wrong? That's pretty audacious, isn't it? You got a lot of audacity to say, because I get people sending me letters and booklets and saying all the stuff that they think I'm wrong about. When I talked about in the Fear of Yahweh teaching, the idea of reverence, is in revering, you have a level of desire not to disappoint and let down because of the level of awe and respect. I don't want to let you down because I have that level of awe and respect for you. That's the reverence. Not reverence that's inappropriate for a man to get. We should have that kind of reverence for parents, for our leadership, because we should have a certain amount of awe and respect for their position, for the anointing, and for their caring enough to try to help us get where we need to go. And the way the wording is there, it's the love of coveting, the coveting of gain. Not the love of having the money, but the coveting of gain. In other words, about you being the recipient and endpoint of the gain. That's the root of all kinds of evil. Because if you want it bad enough, there's things you'd be willing to do to get it that you shouldn't do. So all kinds of harm, suffering, and ruin can come out of the unrestrained coveting of gain. The more you want something, the more you will do things you really shouldn't to get it, whatever that is.